This topic is about how to master the physical world the way Yaakov should have, the Torah way, via holiness and spirituality, elevations and making things godly, making things holy by what you use it for. By the way, once you've done all you had to do for yourself spiritually, when you're ready to go, when you've done everything for yourself spiritually, which also means you've taken care of everything physically by spiritual means. That's where it all counts anyway. Manifesting itself in the physical world, when you take care of everything spiritually for yourself, it's kind of like, let's say, building an airplane, for example. You've done everything the right way, as perfectly as you can, hopefully in perfection. You put everything in there correctly, tied the knots the way you're supposed to, as perfect as you can. You got the perfect airplane going, everything's set up, and once everything's ready, just like yourself spiritually, finally ready to go sky high. You're ready to you're ready to fly and get to places. Same thing in life. When it comes to manifesting all that you became spiritually, when the right time is right, when you've mastered yourself spiritually and you've done all you had to do, you've taken care of yourself spiritually, just like healthily building that airplane, because you're going to get to places perfectly without any problems, hopefully. Same thing, so that you can make it happen physically from within yourself when you're taken care of. So this topic gets into how to master the physical world the Torah way, the right way, through holiness via spirituality. And when you do it this way, that's how you defeat evil wisdomatically. Doing what you have to do for yourself first, remembering your basic fundamentals, of course, unlike most graduates of becoming a judge or whatever, forget everything they learned in school, do whatever they want after they got their little paper. Welcome to America. So, because, so you don't fall down after you've reached the level or reached the degree of graduation or whatever. You remember what you did in the beginning. Sometimes you got to go down your basics, see what you've done wrong, if you've made mistakes, if you didn't thoroughly make sure you did the right moves, or maybe you didn't have the opportunity to make the right moves or not. So, you do the best you can to do everything perfectly from A to Z, and as the Torah teaches, head over the heart. Now, remember, as you were succeeding to get to where you got, where'd you come from? What was your beginning? What were your basic fundamentals? Key point here. Basic fundamentals. Remember that. Because if you're going to have to become great and do it all over again, you'd have to revert back to the way you started that succeeded. Not the way people usually say after they finish. They're like, all right, I'm doing things my way now, which is, don't work. So, it's very important for anyone to remember their basic fundamentals in life, especially when they're on any kind of spiritual mission. So, head over the heart, as the Torah teaches. Now, of course, what fuels you? What motivates you? What makes you feel enlivened? What makes you want to master the world physically? As the Torah teaches, a woman has an automatic spirituality coming into her. Okay? Jewish women aren't even obligated to study Torah. They're exempt from it. The Torah says. Begin automatic spirituality coming in, which is always an automatic incoming. A man, from what I learned, he goes outside, does his thing, learns maybe, life experience, does mitzvot, learns, gains. He understands it more in particular means, while she has the understanding in general means. So he breaks it down, puts it together, and knows what the lesson is. So then he knows it in higher volumes. Now, marriage, two souls becoming one, right? Half and half, becoming one. Welcome to the fuel. That automatic spirituality feeds into your soul, especially when you have the right kind of woman being the right kind of woman. Our man is always held responsible to make sure she doesn't stray from being the right kind of woman once she's his, once he put that ring on her finger. So, mastering the physical world, a key area, very important, is being with the right mates for yourself. Very important. Otherwise, you got to do things the hard way. You got to become so strong, so good, and so expert that you won't need a woman to make it in the physical world. And it's always something that you should have. Some people are unlucky. Some people have been dealt with a difficult hand. Okay. So what do? You just play your hand as best as you can. You play your hand as best as you can. Hell, even if you lost the game, you really didn't lose out inside. You really didn't lose out on who you are. You really did not lose out. Take that same game and apply it to life in the physical world. As you're out in the physical world, ready to master the physical world, you take that same game where you played your hand right, you did the best you can, start applying it. Because once you graduate, let's say, for example, from a school and you got your little diploma, you're like, I do things my way now. I forget what I learned that got me there. Because I got this paper over here saying I could, do a job or whatever. You're not going by your basic fundamentals. Hell, even if you cheated, you use those fundamentals to get around with it, man. Nobody will catch you anyway. I'm not saying it's a good thing. But that's what got you to success first, right? So staying in your strength areas. Strength areas, the one that's in your game. That same hand you played to the best of your ability, taking it and applying it on the outside. Staying within the confines of your strength. That's how you start to master the physical world around you. Now, so, like I said, being with the right mates for yourself, with all the basic fundamentals, as well as what I mentioned previously, on this pathway, going maximally, then you become a vehicle of what masters physical life. So, staying in your strength, as the Torah says, And my input is the way the physical world ought to be mastered. Well, that's really the Torah way as well. It's my way as well. Staying in your strength at all costs, in all situations. Not getting arrogant, of course. And one thing here, through spirituality and holiness, by the way, doing mitzvot, doing everything for the sake of heaven and the physical, everything for the sake of God, bringing in that love and spirituality into the physical world, elevating it. Therefore, it will pull you there, although you've elevated. Now, how do you elevate something? Let's say you're driving a car. You're going to go do some shopping with your wife or something. Okay, so there's a mitzvah in the Torah. Honor your wife. Okay? You're helping her, you're honoring her. Everything that you've done in there, you went into that place, into a store, supermarket, whatever. Whatever you used in there for the sake of that mitzvah, basically it became holy. You used that store to go in there, the very ground in that store. We elevated it via holiness because you did it to fulfill the mitzvah. Honor your wife, the mitzvah. You've elevated it and you've made it holy. More and more elevated, more holier. That becomes spiritual and it embodies the pinnacle of the world. That fulfillment everybody really senses and desires to see blossom subconsciously. So that's what happens when you take your spiritual A game and apply it to the physical world. Anything you do, whether it's lifting weights, watching TV, maybe putting on a good song to keep you, happy, more happier and more energized you are, the more you'll do, maybe you're sitting in your car, put a nice song on. Maybe that's, part of the midst of honoring your wife for you. Maybe you'll bring some more romance in there. It's honoring your wife that way too. So applying all of these things, all the mitzvot, everything, to what you see in the physical, especially when you have people who are big names, like in politics, for example, doing the right thing, making a Kiddush Hashem, elevates the whole political areas that they're involved in, spiritually. So you can see everything, your produce manifesting itself physically. The world becomes a better place. It becomes an attraction for godliness, not perversion, when done for the right means. When you're a true, pure person, a good person, or a righteous person, etc., and you do it. Versus a slime ball who does it for all the wrong reasons, and that place is degraded, who, by the way, tries to pin it on good people, pure people, righteous people. A lot of the time, innocent people get looked at the wrong way for the wrong reasons, or blamed at even. So, when you do things the right way for the right reason in the physical world, applying it to the physical world, You're automatically winning battles, places that you don't even see, you might even not even be thinking about. Things are taken care of. Why? Positive energy gets gets positive energy and live-ins, all that you've affected. Positive energy, therefore, is the anti to negative energy. When you have positive energy, you feel good about yourself. People are in the mood to solve crimes. People are in the mood to get up and work. When you have negative energy, like Gog and Barack Hussein Obama, bankrupting everybody and lying to everybody, you don't want to do shit. You don't want to get up. You don't want to do anything. You feel like garbage when you go to work, worried if you're going to keep your job or lose your job. So, this is a great example. So how do you fall out of place? Is what we'll get into now. To avoid it, by an arrogant approach. Even if you feel like you're fully in your strength and you're so powerful, as the Torah says, don't trust yourself till the day you die. How do you fall out of place? By letting the wicked do all they want in your place, instead of you handling the area that's appointed for you to do spiritually. You know you're responsible for it. You feel it. Get on a job. So, these wicked people do it for the sake of the wrong reasons, not the right reasons. Maybe for honor for themselves, so they could be honored among people, to then mislead people, lie to people. They could look at a good person who doesn't show himself off as a honorable man who's done lots of good things for people. And they look at them, they'd be like, oh, I got so much honor, like a wicked person. You'll say, I got so much honor. You look at the good person, that's the unknown, who's really known, and you'll say, I'm honored, I'm honorable, I'm honored all the time. Who are you? You know, and he tries to, you know, create a feeling of negative um, negative death inside of him, you know. So misleading people, misleading even a good person possibly. So basically doing the right thing, doing it right. The root problem, people who don't do their job. So always on your A game, do your job, never take it personally. It's just business is the attitude when it comes to mastering the physical world, the holy way, the Torah way, spiritually. As far as wicked men who are made by women, long story on that. A right kind of person, a right kind of man, doesn't let the woman make him. He's responsible. Be a man. Don't let women do all the work for you. That's how it gets messed up. By her wearing the man's pants. When a man is a man 100%, the woman has no choice than to be a woman 100%. She'll be a crown to your head if she's worthy. How do you master the physical world the right way? The key here is utilizing your mate the right way once you've made all the right choices internally, ready to manifest it externally. Then you're good to go. The right mate is the right fuel. Now, if you don't have the right mate, You play your cards as best as you can. You might have to go through lots of situations that women usually pass through easily. And as a man, you master it yourself. Mastering the physical world isn't something for a person to say, I'll do it myself. I will do it myself. I will. No. Lots of men, even good men, say, I'll get this guy out of the way because he does something a lot better than I do. It happens to maybe be his key area of strength. Maybe it's part of his mission. Maybe it's part of his job spiritually. Maybe it's a part of his God-given destiny to master this area. No matter who someone is in some other area, even if the whole world knows that he's great in some area and he's happens to be in a position where he gets global respect, you lose all of your pull that way. If you say, I will do it myself, always takes the right people getting together and making it happen. If there are no right people, then hiddenly you've mastered the physical world because you've done it all without doing anything. And you already have that vehicle, so to speak, to life ready to go because you're hungry. You wanted to get in there so badly. Nobody joined you, which made sure everybody in the world was not ready on the inside to see the greatness that's coming, that's about to hit the world. That's why it takes the effort with the right people, the right affiliations, the right acquaintances, even the right friends, but always maintaining it's just business, nothing personal, with everything in life. I once heard a wise man say, anything happens in life, a mistake, an accident, whatever, anything really nasty to you, head over the heart, as the example goes. He said, take it as an experience, learn from it, don't take it personal, and move on. Move right on. That's a wise man. What's the very base, the foundation, what's the very foundation of mastering the physical world, spirituality, anything? Honest to one's heart, soul, all that one possesses, with one's heart, one's soul, and all that one possesses, doing it with God. The beginning. That's the beginning. And that's how it always is. That's what Moshe did. Look who he became. Think about it. He was a master of the physical world. Look what he did spiritually too. This is the example here. He was holy to begin with, but who's to say, oh, it's just Moshe being born? No, that took work. This was manifested on the inside of him before he was even born. The test that he passed within, that manifested within himself, Meaning, if you get the opportunity to, as a grown man, to pass certain tests, here he did it on the inside. Because had he taken that test, he would have passed it. Boom. That was already inside of him. That was who he was. That manifestation of who he is and what he chose, that was within him. He didn't need that test. So it's a guy, us maybe Jews or whatever in Egypt or some other people on the outside must have seen him as, okay, it's just Pharaoh's daughter brings in this baby. Who was she with? We don't know. Sure, maybe she asked, please, don't invade my privacy. Don't try to find out who it is. It's my responsibility, yada, yada, yada. Okay? So he's a baby with nobody. Prince of Egypt. Growing up as an Egyptian, chilling with Edomites, chilling with Ishmaelites, chilling with the Erev Rav. Connected with them a lot. We got through them a lot. He's a good influence on them a lot. Being a man not recognized as a Hebrew was Moshe. Not recognized as a Hebrew at all. An Egyptian is what they recognized that man by. Growing up, not knowing maybe who, what the real truth behind this story was. His mother, his father, who's who? Slaves in Egypt, okay? Take a look at the heights he reached. I'm sure nowadays everyone just says, hey, look, it's Moshe. He was born with the same kind of standards of a hand with the cards he was dealt with, just as everybody else was. Jewish? Who's to say Jewish? He got the Torah. The Jews accepted it. They accepted it, the Hebrews. Is that when they became Jewish? You need to ask yourself that question. Masters of the physical world, were they when they left Egypt? They knew a lot of things. Moshe, master of the physical and spiritual world. He was free from what the Jews as slaves were not. The 12 tribes, spiritual masters. Yosef, spiritual and a physical master. The rest, not like Yosef's physical mastery in the physical world. Come to think about it, Yehuda had the potential. That's the thing. Moshe, born, having been given away just to have his own life saved, becoming prince in Egypt, taking his feet, putting them into the mud, being the most humble man in the world at that time, becoming the man who he became later on, a king of a city as well. That's physical mastery. Look at the heights Moshe reached with the right means, with God, not straying from his basic fundamentals. from the beginning of his life, for most of the time you could say up to his 80th year, mastering the physical world with God, to Moshe Rabbeinu. Respect goes where respect is due. All Jews want to master the physical world. This is how you make it happen. Ein od milvado, there's nothing besides God.